This is Valley News Live at 10.
We begin with breaking news out of South Fargo. A motorcyclist is injured after being hit by a car.
It happened at 45th Street on 13th Avenue South about 40 minutes ago, and right now debris is blocking the entire intersection. The call came in as a vehicle that T-boned a motorcycle. Early reports indicated that the motorcyclist wasn't seriously injured but was taken by ambulance to the hospital.
And not long before that, a 15-year-old girl was struck by a car while bicycling in South Moorhead. It happened about an hour ago at 1002 10th Street South. While details of what happened aren't being released, we could see that the car's windshield was smashed and an ambulance had taken off with its lights and sirens on. There's no word yet on the extent of injuries.
New tonight at 10, the Fargo School Board has voted to censor one of its own for refusing to wear a mask while in a district facility.
Valley News Team's Nisha Taylor was there as the school board wrestled over the disciplinary action against Jennifer Benson.
During tonight's Fargo Public School Board meeting, board member Jennifer Benson was in the hot seat. This all stems from Benson failing to comply with the 2021 Smart Restart Plan. The plan required face masks to be worn in all Fargo Public School District buildings as a strategy to combat the COVID-19 pandemic. In a memo filed by School Board President Rebecca Knutson, Benson failed to wear a mask during the April 27th meeting and on multiple other occasions.
We look at ourselves closer to staff, not that we are, but that we align ourselves closer to staff and look at what would we ask our staff members to do.
According to Knutson, Benson was given the opportunity to submit medical paperwork for a mask exemption, but that was declined. And in tonight's meeting, Benson argued the policy was against federal law.
There are federal laws to protect people for a reason. It is nobody's business whether or not what the medical reason is. It is nobody's business. You cannot ask me that.
But the school board president says the issue is about more than simply not wearing a mask.
When a person runs for the Board of Education and then ends up being elected and serves, we are to follow our policies. And so that's something that we know and that they're outlined for us. And so that's really why we're here today, because this is an example of that.
And other board members agreed.
Personally, I think we've discussed this about as far as we need to. Clearly, we had a board member that chose to not follow the policy we put in place. That's a violation of board policy.
This discussion was to determine disciplinary action for Benson. On a 6-2 vote, board members passed a motion to censor Jennifer Benson for the remainder of the meeting. In Fargo, Nisha Taylor, Valley News Live.
The censure means the board did not approve of Benson's actions. This only applied to tonight's meeting and did not require Benson to remain silent. She remains a full participant at the board.
A Fargo father is mourning his teenage daughter this evening, calling her a beautiful soul and saying a monster stole her from all of us. The father of 14-year-old Daisy Paulson, known as Jupiter, told us that machines kept his daughter alive until noon today and her organs will be donated. As for the man accused of killing her, Arthur Colley, we learned today that authorities are expected to increase his charges from attempted murder to murder. But he says he was on meth at the time of the attack. Friday morning, police were called to the Party City parking lot of 13th Avenue South in Fargo after a man driving a garbage truck saw Colley assaulting the middle schooler before running off. She was found with more than 20 stab wounds. Now, Jupiter's father says that she will be cremated. Her family is planning 2 memorial services. One will be private. The other one is open to the entire community. They also plan to spread her ashes in the California Bay Area on this date next year, saying it's what she wanted. Her father is thanking the community for their prayers, love, support, and donations. Tomorrow morning at 10, Jupiter's family will be raising the Donate Life flag at Sanford Hospital, a tradition for the families of organ donors to honor those loved ones. Meanwhile, another person was hurt in a rollover crash in downtown Fargo. This happened earlier this evening along 2nd Street North at NP Avenue. Officials who were out there told us that 3 cars were involved. Still no word on what caused that crash.
An 18-year-old Minnesota woman is dead after she hit an elk in Colorado. It happened yesterday morning. Her car was so badly damaged that she couldn't drive it, so she stepped out of her car and was hit by another vehicle that had also hit the elk. 4 vehicles were involved in that crash. 9 people were taken to a hospital with injuries.
A man is suing the estate of Dante Wright, alleging the 20-year-old shot and killed by a Brooklyn Center, Minnesota police officer carjacked and assaulted him in March. This lawsuit, filed on behalf of Joshua Hodges, seeks more than $50,000. The suit alleges Hodges was sitting in his car in North Minneapolis the evening of March 21st when Wright and another man approached. The lawsuit says the other man shot Hodges in the leg, after which Wright assaulted Hodges' face and stole his wallet and cell phone. No word yet from the Wright family attorney.
Crews spent the day searching a Minnesota river for a missing child. They were looking near Hidden Falls Regional Park in St. Paul. It's been a day since a 12-year-old boy disappeared. His family says he was playing with his sister and dad when the current took him deep into the river. They also said that he cannot swim. Today, his oldest brother flew from Virginia to stand alongside the rest of the family and wait.
We badly miss our brother, who has a big dream and who is very talented and brilliant. And I only say that Lord has, still I have a hope that Lord can give him back to us. So that's our prayer.
The boy was the youngest of 6 siblings.
A 15-year-old girl in Duluth, Lizzie Grayhawk, is being hailed as a hero for rescuing her family after their house caught fire early this morning. Firefighters saw the fire coming from the 2nd-story window. 4 adults and 4 children all made it out. The family says if the teen didn't act as quickly as she did, this could have been a very different situation. Lizzie got a life-saving award for her actions.
I woke up because it was getting real hot on the side of me, and my whole tapestry was on fire, and the LED lights, and then the stuff on my top bunk were on fire. It was really scary.
Officials believe the fire was an accident and electrical in nature. The Red Cross is helping that family.
2 North Dakota senators are commenting about a report on the Capitol insurrection on January 6th. It focuses on communication breakdowns between security agencies and social media monitoring. Some posts were aggressive and had threats of violence, but federal agencies said that content fell under freedom of speech. Those threats weren't forwarded to the people in charge of securing the Capitol. Senator John Hoeven said the report showed serious lapses in security, adding, quote, "These issues need to be addressed. We are continuing to review the report, and these committees, which have jurisdiction in the Senate, are not done."
Every member of Congress was also an eyewitness to this event, so there were a lot of members that also were able to contribute their their first-person accounts of what happened that night.
In all, the report offered 65 recommendations to improve threat reporting efforts and help law enforcement prepare for the next possible threatening situations. Still ahead tonight, Minnesota taking a big step to provide food and homes for bees. We'll tell you why coming up.
But first, more storms on the way for some after last night's wild weather. Hutch is in with your forecast in just a couple of minutes.